Hello and welcome to Mainstream Media News. I'm Barry Bubblehead. Here are the very important stories you need to shape your perception of reality this week. Be terrified. Excuse me, it's long COVID. The Earth is the hottest it's ever been. Despite records only beginning around the year 1880, we are fairly certain that the Earth has never been this hot, even when it was awash with active volcanoes and the United Kingdom was a tropical sea. In Rome this week, the river Tiber dropped to such a low level due to climate change that it revealed an ancient Roman bridge. Because I, Barry Bubblehead, am a mainstream journalist, I always like to check the facts. And so I was reading about the Bridge of Nero. The Reverend Thomas Ashby wrote in his Dictionary of Ancient Rome in 1929 that remains of the bridge can be seen when the water is very low. But despite the remains being visible 100 years ago, the fact they're visible now means you are almost certainly going to die. You may hear claims to the contrary, but having spoken to our trusted anti-fascist sources, we can confirm that the term medieval warm period is a far-right slur used to marginalise ethnic minorities and has been linked to anti-LGBTQ, RSTU, VW, X, Y and Z groups. In other news, another deadly virus is sweeping across Europe and will almost certainly find its way across the English Channel and into your mouth, trust the scientists have said. The deadly pathogen can be spread by interacting with other humans, sharing common goals and building mutually beneficial relationships despite having differences in opinion. This should have us all on high alert. Professor Comi Stalin, head of the government's behavioural manipulation team, has said the only known cure for the disease that has a 110% fatality rate is to sever all ties with your ability to enjoy your existence on this dying planet. Computer modelling from the Imperial College London has predicted that almost 95% of us are in fact already dead and in an accelerated state of decomposition. A new major study out of a Californian university funded by organisations that seek to divide society has unearthed some alarming findings. White cisgendered people are unequivocally privileged, even if they're impoverished, terminally ill, or victims of physical, sexual or psychological abuse. Cisgendered women who demand sex-based rights and protection from biological males in places like bathrooms and changing facilities are all, the study shows, descended from Myra Hindley. And finally, in new legislation passed by Congress, children who cry and recoil in fear when US President Joe Biden nibbles at their back and then sniffs them are to be banned from driving, along with everyone else from 2030. That's all from me, Barry Bubblehead, and remember, the world will end, but fear is your friend. Good night.
That's a wrap.
Right, now where's that rent boy I ordered?
It is women's sports and it is women's awards in business and all sorts. So whatever a woman's working hard for and dedicating her life to, especially in sports where, you know, men are so much more powerful and built differently, it's completely and utterly fair. And it's taking away opportunities. This guy would have taken my opportunity away had he won when I won Miss Great Britain back then. And it was amazing for me. It changed my life. It really did change my life. And so when this happens in sports to women, you know, like Riley Gaines, she lost out to Leah Thomas. It's just so, it must be so soul destroying. And again, it's like the big patriarchy saying, it doesn't matter, you know, I can be a better woman than you. Even as a man, I can be a better woman. And it's just so demoralizing. And it's going to ruin, you know, women in sports, women's awards. It's going to ruin it all if we keep letting this happen.
And I think this is why we've never been taught it, because once you are connected to that and you have the experience of like, I've just grown a seed, it's grown into this thing that I can eat and taste amazing and I can feel it in me, right? Once you've experienced that's it. It's set alight. Something's gone off in you, you know, that's not, you're never going to stop doing that. No. Whether you have a space from it and then come back to it or whatever, you're never going to stop doing that. It just lights something in you.
Yeah.
Measuring temperature on Earth, you think it'd be straightforward. Let's just take all the temperature readings. Well, just look at America, how many temperature readings there are. Here, look at this graph. Here's a graph of the average of the models there in red and the reality in blue. All the models are way over the top in forecasting temperature rises. Basically, all the models do not agree with the observations and are therefore wrong.
That's all for this week. Thank you all for tuning in. Yet more evidence has emerged, as if it was needed, that the COVID protocols were nothing more than state-sponsored murder. A whistleblower from the Isle of Man called Zandra Lewis has spoken out about what she saw during her time at the Abbotswood nursing home. They told us to stay home, destroyed livelihoods, people's mental health. They took a baseball bat to the economy, all to save Granny, when all the while they were killing Granny with a mixture of morphine and midazolam. Mainstream media hacks like Barry Bobblehead won't report on it, of course. Their masters would never allow it. But it just shows the sheer inversion of everything. We're saving Granny by killing her. Climate cultists claim they are securing the future of the planet for the next generations when they're actually stealing the futures from them with net zero insanity. Warmongers like NATO and their Primark tracksuit gopher claim they're seeking peace when they want anything but. If a politician, a bobblehead or a cult asset says something, flip it. They're saying the exact opposite. European Member of Parliament Guy Verhofstadt, a man whose dyed hair is as greasy as a kebab house floor, has said that climate change deniers are a threat to mankind. Now, I know he doesn't believe that, because if he did, he'd be cheering us on. Good night.